To describe these invasions or settlements, it's important to take into account the life possibilities in these places as a result of the Ice Age and the extreme temperature reached. Around 250,000 years before Christ, in the Roman times, there was the first evidences of human life and the discovery of tools denoting the existence of two groups of inhabitants and the way they manipulate and shaped their tools. After that, when the ice advanced again in the 50,000 years before Christ, a new type of human arrived to the country, and they were probably smaller and lived around 30 years. Then, around 10,000 before Christ, when the Ice Age finished, Britain was peopled and they could set their homes there because they could find food and clothing, and there is like the basic resources for living. There were groups of hunters, gatherers, and fishers, and they live by the group of diggers. And as a result of the end of the last Ice Age, the consequence was like a temperature rise and the ice caps melted, and finally the island became, Britain became an island. It became heavily forested, but the life of that people ended because they live at the expenses of cool loving animals like deers, and when these animals died, people also died. Then, on around 3,000 years before Christ, a new group of small, dark, and long-headed people called the Iberians arrived to the island, and they crossed by boats, which were small and made of wood and animal skins. They were like really skillful, and they knew how to do pottery, made pottery, and they grew corn crops. And they also were like, they have like an organization in public works. And these public works were the burial barrows made of earth or stone. And after that, the Chaklan people built henges, which were centers of religious and political, economical power, which were great circles of earth, banks, and ditches, and inside they built wooden buildings and stone circles.
In 2400 before Christ, a new group of people arrived in southeast Britain from Europe. These were the Beaker people. They were round-headed and stronger built, and comparing them with the Neolithic Britons, they were taller. They brought with them a new cereal that was rarely, which could grow almost everywhere. And they also brought skills to make bronze tools, and they began to replace the stone ones. And they became the leaders of British society because of their influence. In 1300 before Christ, there was a settled farming class. The farmers learned to enrich the soil with natural waste materials. They had more advanced metalworking skills, and this is known as better bronze swords were found in the Thames Valley. These swords were found in riverbeds, and they were thrown in for religious reasons. Around 700 before Christ, a new group of people arrived, and these were called the Celts. Physically, they were tall and had red or fair hair and blue eyes. Their organization was divided into different tribes. Tribal chiefs were chosen from each family or tribe, sometimes as a result of fighting matches between individuals and sometimes by election. In 55 before Christ, the Celtic tribes could farm heavier soils because of their use of iron technology and their introduction of more advanced ploughing methods. There was an increase of hill forts buildings that suggested that the Celts were successful farmers. The Celts used iron bars for money, and then they used coins.
In AD 43, Romans started Britain conquest. Romans believed in doing things carefully and thoroughly, so this is why this was a slow and steady process, which starts here and lasts for some time. Firstly led by Roman Emperor Claudius, who sent an army of 4 legions commanded by Aulus Plotius, who was later succeeded by another commandant. They had first of all to struggle with no opposition because Celtic civilization respected and admired Roman civilization, but later on they had to struggle the opposition until they finally put an end of the Celtic civilization. Later on in AD 61, Boadicea led her tribe against the Romans, and she destroyed London until Romans defeated her. This is an utterly important fact in history because Boadicea was a Celtic leader, was a woman, a symbol of courage and empowerment, and also of equality between genders in that age. Later on in AD 75, Julius Agricola finally completed the conquest. He kind of Romanized the Britons. He improved Latin learning and the Roman culture among them. So this is why the image here is an illustration of what learning Latin was like in that age. In AD 120, Emperor Hadrian thought that expanding more was dangerous for the empire, and in order to set the limits of it, he built a wall, which is actually Hadrian's Wall, in the north to keep raiders out. This is the time of Pax Romana. Pax Romana was a time of peace within the empire. Towns were connected by roads. There were no restrictions, no passports. Travelers and merchants could easily come and go. And local traditions, customs, and beliefs, even language, were respected. And as a consequence, Romans were really proud of it. Pax Romana lasted up until AD 293, when the Roman Empire started to weaken. There were some struggles for the throne. The empire was bankrupt, and neighboring tribes, invaded it. Emperors Diocletian and Constantine comes to stage. They introduced changes in the constitution. One was to move the capital to Byzantium, and the other was to introduce Christianity as a formal religion in an attempt to keep the reign together. Finally, in AD 367, the first signs of the end of the empire were seen, and up until it finally came to an end in AD 409, so it lasted for more than 3 centuries.